What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today we're going to be talking about the operators coming to MW3 Season 5, a surprise crossover with WWE, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and I want to thank all you guys out there for tuning in to today's episode of the Bombshell podcast. In case you guys missed it, I'll have it linked down below, but we had special guest Lunchtime, who just broke the record for Get High, by the way, and we had a pretty good discussion about Black Ops 6, the future of MW3, and even more. But with that, as a big reminder, there is a new set of Call of Duty Zombies themed control freaks, right? A Deadshot daiquiri can as a bit of a collector's box, which you could save 10% on if you use code Dynamite during checkout. These look really damn sweet, and these aren't really tied to MW3 or Black Ops 6, but still, you get that Cold War Deadshot can as a literal collector's item and a code inside the box for an in-game charm. But with that, we also have plenty of brand new article coverage going up on detonated.com for those who want to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 3 and, of course, all things Black Ops 6. Now today we did get a little bit of marketing for our 5th season, specifically tailored around the operators, which we're going to break down in a second, but as far as other marketing does go, it's totally possible that something else does get announced or tweeted about from Call of Duty on Monday or maybe even Tuesday. Season 4 marketing was obviously a bit strange considering that they had a whole week reserved for a bunch of Black Ops 6 teasers and details about that, so Season 4 didn't get traditional marketing. I think everything happened like a week ahead of time, but Season 5 should get fully unveiled this upcoming Wednesday with a full blog post and roadmap, an exact week before the launch of all this content on July 24th. Either way though, I'll be live streaming plenty as of next week in the case that something does get announced. Hope to see you guys there, of course. Now, I briefly touched on operators in my recent video going over everything we know so far about the Season 5 Battle Pass, but a new set of code names was posted by COD Warfare Forum, a known data miner over on Twitter. So as you guys can see here, we do have the following code names: Darts, Mochi, Caramel, Sapphire, Gelato, Ruby, Default Celebrity, which I believe is going to be a crossover skin, Gulag, Thorn, and even Fuel. Now, I want to say we're probably still going to get that crossover with that Crow movie that is releasing at some point in August. That's been a rumored operator for quite some time now. We'll likely see a bundle themed around the Crow at some point later in Season 5. But as far as those other code names do go, obviously some of those are going to be for the new and original characters we're going to be seeing in the Season 5 Battle Pass. We'll likely see a new character for Blackcell as we typically get. So that's what some of those code names are for, whereas some others could either be for canceled operators, some could be for Season 6. Keep in mind that that's likely what that operator list is all about. But for those wondering what's going on with Deadpool, we're going to circle back to that deeper into this video. But earlier today, we did get the following tweet from Call of Duty confirming a crossover with WWE. I'm not kidding. So at about 12 o'clock Central, the typical marketing time, they went ahead and posted it's about to be a SmackDown. WWE is bringing its best of the ring in Call of Duty Season 5 starting July 24th. So the in-game ring you can see is just used here for marketing purposes. That's the ring that you can find over in Urzikstan, whether you're playing Warzone or Zombies. That'd be great to see an LTM of some sort though, where a ring is utilized. I mean, even SmackDown, right? The name of one of the WWE shows could be the name of an LTM. Imagine a really cool LTM with different modifiers where somehow it's wrestling related or a ring could be used. Lots of really cool opportunities I think they can do with a crossover with wrestling. We'll love to see what they do when it comes to multiplayer or even Warzone, but leave your best bets and theories down below in the comments. How could a WWE LTM work inside of Call of Duty, especially for a game like Modern Warfare 3, which has already introduced so many really cool and unique LTMs that we really haven't seen in many other CODs before. This game's done so much already. Can't even imagine how much farther they can take things when it comes to a limited time mode, if that's going to happen though. Now, from the teaser alone though, you could see the silhouette and shadows of 3 specific operators. I believe we're going to be seeing 3 different WWE superstars as playable characters at some point in Season 5. Not all of them have to release day 1 on July 24th, but you can see the person in the middle is wearing a mask. Could that be somebody like Rey Mysterio, an OG who's still popular today? There are, of course, maybe some other masked characters this could be based on. I'm just going to throw out Rey Mysterio because it's one of my all-time favorites from when I was a kid, but the character on the right is clearly a woman, so if you look at some of the more popular divas right now in WWE, I think Rhea Ripley is probably the #1 contender for who this character is, but there's some other ones as well, right? It all depends who they got the licensing for with this collaboration. It's hard to make out who the character is on the far left, but I know John Cena just announced his retirement. How perfect would it be to have a John Cena operator live inside of Season 5 or for COD? He's an absolute legend, and we'll circle back to some other legends later in this video because I think there is one flaw with this crossover, which is going to be that there's too many damn superstars to choose from, and you can almost do unlimited collabs with WWE WWE because there's so many operators that people will likely want to see. But I did some research and I'm like, who's the face of WWE right now? I haven't really looked into wrestling all that much, at least in the last decade, but Cody Rhodes is also a top contender and a very popular person around the ring, so maybe he could actually match who that shadow is. But for those wondering what's going on with those Deadpool looking finishing moves, I made one video about this not too long ago and I touched on it briefly in my recent Battle Pass video. When it comes to the likeliness of that collab happening, I highly doubt that they're going to end up doing that, right? I've been very doubtful about that crossover since I made that video. I made it very clear in that commentary too. I talked about it for a vid because it's obviously a hot discussion going around the Call of Duty community, but even Charlie Intel, right, who obviously have their own sources, did go ahead and say today that there isn't a collab happening with Deadpool. They probably got that confirmed, but the finishing moves themselves obviously could be tied to a Deadpool operator. I could totally see the resemblance to some of the animations and motions that the character does, but one finisher in particular now makes a little bit more sense. One of the operators gives off some sass, a very feminine-like move that Rhea Ripley actually does in the ring. I did some research and you could see that she does a very similar hand motion when she comes out sometimes. So with that in mind, that finisher could be tied to Rhea Ripley, whereas some of the other ones could also be for other WWE superstars or just for other operators entirely that we haven't seen added into the game yet. Some of them could even just be finishers a part of upcoming bundles that just so happen to look very close to some of the things you would think Deadpool would do as he's done in some of his recent movies. Now, the Rhea Ripley hand gesture is something that I just can't unsee now. I'm pretty sure that finisher is probably for her if she's going to be a playable operator within Season 5. But another question is this crossover going to be Battle Pass related? Now, considering the release date of this crossover being July 24th, the same day as the start of the season, I think that means there's a very high chance that in the Battle Pass, you'll see some of the new characters be WWE superstars. I mean, it's probably going to be 1 to 2 superstars in the Battle Pass, maybe one other one that gets added through a bundle much later. And if that's the case, I'm really curious how Blackcell would look for a crossover like this. Imagine the crazy black and gold variants on some of these wrestlers, but it's also possible that these could all just be bundle related and the Battle Pass has nothing to do with WWE. But I think considering we've seen a couple of crossovers in Battle Passes now, it's very likely they end up taking advantage of that and really boosting the sales and interest in the Battle Pass by putting some crossover operators in there. Now, we've seen a full Spawn themed Battle Pass for The Haunting. We'll probably get another full Halloween themed pass in Season 6. We've seen Rick Grimes, we've seen Snoop Dogg. Wouldn't really put it past them to also add in some WWE operators here day one with the Season 5 Battle Pass. Now, this has also opened up a little bit of a discussion around the community today, which is that since there's no carry forward to Black Ops 6, it's a little bit disappointing to pick up these WWE superstars that you then can't use in Black Ops 6 multiplayer or zombies. I mean, who wouldn't want to play as Rick Grimes or Snoop or a wrestler even in the new round-based zombies this fall? I totally get that, which is why, again, as we talked about a bit on the podcast, I really wouldn't mind if they made a slight exception to carry forward to also allow players to bring in voice celebrity characters into the new Black Ops. Maybe they'll change their mind later this summer, but I think it still is a bit unlikely. Obviously, Black Ops 6 is a fresh start, as we've seen with just about every other COD besides Modern Warfare 3. But because WWE is such a massive franchise with hundreds of possible superstars, here's why I think we can probably end up seeing another crossover with wrestling during Black Ops 6. I mean, something like The Boys probably wouldn't make sense in BO6 because a majority of those characters are already in MW3, but with the amount of superstars there are in wrestling, who's to say that if this upcoming collab is very successful, that we can't get another crossover like that during the Black Ops 6 cycle with some other familiar faces, let it be The Rock, John Cena, or anybody else. But something I was getting at towards the beginning of this video, which I want to end this commentary with, is that this can't really ever be regarded as a quote-unquote perfect collab because you can't please everybody, right? This is going to be really exciting, should be pretty damn cool to see in Season 5, but you're going to have folks that are like, oh, what about this superstar? And they forgot this person. How could they have left out Roman Reigns or XYZ? You're going to have a lot of controversial comments like that, no matter how many times you cross over Call of Duty with WWE. And that's the unfortunate part of it, because again, there's hundreds of superstars they can choose from for a crossover. So you're not going to be able to please everybody, but I think either way, it's going to be a very interesting time when Season 5 rolls around in about 2 weeks. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the WWE confirmed crossover for Season 5? How are you feeling about the other operator codenames that did surface, plus everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.